How does the limbic system drive addiction? Imagine your brain as a busy city, with different neighborhoods working together to keep everything running smoothly. One of the busiest areas is the limbic system, which controls emotions, motivation, and feelings of pleasure. This part of the brain is like the city's emotional hub, and it plays a big role in addiction. When someone uses drugs or alcohol, it can hijack this system, making the brain think that the substance is the most important thing in the world. At the center of this process is the reward system, which releases a chemical called dopamine. Dopamine is like the brain's happiness messenger, making us feel good when we do things that help us survive, like eating or bonding with loved ones. But addictive substances cause a flood of dopamine that's way stronger than natural rewards. Drugs like opioids, cocaine, and methamphetamine can cause dopamine levels to spike 10 times higher than normal. This intense rush of pleasure is what makes the drug memorable and encourages repeated use. Over time, the brain starts to change. It becomes less sensitive to dopamine, so the same amount of the drug no longer gives the same high. This is called tolerance, and it makes users want to take more of the substance to feel good again. The brain is trying to balance itself, but the chemicals have already caused lasting changes. The reward pathways get rewired, and natural pleasures become less satisfying. That's why someone with addiction might lose interest in things they once enjoyed. Different parts of the limbic system work together to drive addiction. The nucleus accumbens, a key area, helps motivate the person to seek out the drug. It has two parts, the shell and the core. The shell is linked to craving, while the core turns that craving into action. The amygdala, another limbic structure, becomes active when someone sees drug-related cues. This makes certain places, people, or objects trigger strong cravings. The extended amygdala also influences feelings of stress and anxiety, especially during withdrawal. As addiction develops, the brain shifts from seeking pleasure to avoiding discomfort. Early on, people use drugs to feel good. Later, they use to escape negative feelings or withdrawal symptoms. The brain's neuroplasticity means these changes can last long after stopping drug use. The prefrontal cortex, which helps us make decisions and control impulses, often gets damaged or miswired. This makes resisting urges harder, especially for young people whose decision-making parts are still developing. The limbic system also controls stress responses. During withdrawal, it can become hyperactive, causing anxiety and irritability. These negative feelings push people to keep using drugs to feel normal again. This cycle makes recovery tough because the brain remembers the drug as a way to fix emotional pain. Even after quitting, environmental cues like certain places or people can trigger cravings because the limbic system still reacts strongly to those triggers. Understanding how the limbic system drives addiction shows us that this isn't just about willpower. It's about real changes in brain chemistry and structure. The reward system gets hijacked, and the brain's ability to resist urges is weakened. Recovery often involves helping the brain rewire itself, restoring balance in the reward pathways, and strengthening decision-making areas. That's why treatment approaches focus on both managing cravings and supporting emotional health. Recognizing the biological roots of addiction helps us approach it with compassion and effective strategies.